Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Look on the screen. The young ones may not know, but this is a artist who is no longer with us. Called his name was James Brown, and he did like a old school. I don't know if you could call it R&B, but yeah, his name was James Brown. And one title of a song he had was called "I Feel Good." I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't now. Well, I think you might want to feel dumb. I've been saying, and it is what it is, all it takes is one. All those people have to do, and I'm referring to the ones that look opposite of me, all they have to do is find one, in most cases, one successful black man. Latch on. Latch on. Your financial security is guaranteed. And whatever money he leaves behind from his family, once they latch on, the black wealth is gone. James Brown, what's going on now? As I said before, discussed on Patreon with that Michael Jackson estate. You cannot make this stuff up. But see, this is what happens. A lot of our people, we're not serious people, don't understand business. And so then when we get with people that don't look like us, and we're like, oh, yeah, I can trust them, not my own. I don't care who the hell you are. Somebody you should have, when you have this kind of money, $90 million, should have someone, there has to be some intelligence somewhere to have a key to the darn wheel. Put it in the deposit box. But no, not this crew. They put, especially these men, they always put their trust in everybody else but their own and end up looking like fools in the end. So what's the deal here? The deal is right here. It says, so 18 years. He's been dead, I guess 18 years, James Brown. 18 years after James Brown's death, his family, 18 years, y'all. His family is still asking one heartbreaking question: where's the $90 million? This sounds just like Aretha Franklin. She died estate value reportedly at $80 million. No will. Oh, then they found the will in a sofa, y'all. You cannot make this up. $80 million estate. Then what happens? The court appoints the lawyers over it. And you can imagine who those lawyers are always going to be. And by the time the lawyers finish with it, well, let's just say the $80 million estate years later is now worth $6 million. $80 million estate is now worth $6 million. Who got the bulk of it? Duh, the estate lawyers, the ones who are, they're not working for free. Unbelievable. All these black entertainers, then when they die, don't handle business. Prince, they got paid off of his too. The families they got paid, but guess what? There was no will from what I read. The family did get some money. Same thing. Don't handle business. 18 years later, you think that money's sitting there? I saw a video, a documentary. They were saying the lawyer had handled it for James Brown and said the money was going to an orphanage. You got to be out your darn mind. Then you look in this economy, look how many of our people are suffering. Don't handle business. Oh, but they are so trusting of the other man. So 18 years after James Brown's death, his family is still asking one of the heartbreaking questions: where's the $90 million? The Godfather's soul had beautiful intentions. He wanted his fortune to help kids get an education. But what happened next is a legal nightmare that shows how even the best intentions can go terribly wrong. But it can't go wrong if you have this laid out in the will and somebody in your family has access to it. But oh no, we don't want them in the will. I can't wrap my head around it. I did an upload before where a person in of our community was successful. Died, the same thing. When the family showed up at the house, how about Becky and the lawyers was already there in the house and wouldn't let the family members in? They told them, you need to come back. Maybe what I think was it 2 weeks later. When the family came back at that time, everything was gone. They even took and sold off the kids' toys, personal belongings. But oh no, these men, they are so trusting. Don't handle business. I What do I say? All I gotta do is find one. 18 years later, asking where's the $90 million. This is just, in my opinion, sheer stupidity. It says James Brown was known for being a larger than life figure, and since his death from congestive heart failure at age 73 on Christmas Day 2006, no one has come close to replicating his signature swagger. Brown's story is one of grit and self determination, as he was born into poverty in South Carolina and worked his way up from a rough background to develop the foundations of funk in the 60s and become a self made musical icon. Over the course of his career, Brown amassed a fortune, and given that he had a large family with four ex wives and six recognized children, one might think upon his passing, his money was divided among them. But this was decidedly not the case. James Brown, the estate drama. Brown wrote his will in 2000 with a clear mission. The bulk of his estate should fund the I Feel Good Trust for children's education. He wanted to help kids in South Carolina, where he was born, and Georgia, where he grew up and lived until his death. The cause was deeply personal to Brown, as he was forced to drop out of school in 7th grade because his tattered clothes were deemed unacceptable. Throughout his career, he was a passionate advocate for education and even released a song called Don't Be a Dropout in 1966 and met with political leaders to discuss the importance of staying in school. Brown's will, which was just 7 pages long, can be read in full at the State, a Carolina newspaper owned by Woman's World, parent company McClatchy Media. So, the attorney had the will, and from what I've gathered, the family has seen none of the money. And here he is with Vice President Hubert Humphrey discussing his song, Don't Be a Dropout. And they're at the White House to discuss the song again. This was a campaign where that song was featured reportedly in 1967. Why James Brown's estate sparked a legal battle? It sounds straightforward enough. A famous musician wanting to help kids get education. So what could go wrong? Brown spoke openly about his intentions to fund scholarships for children who wouldn't otherwise have access to them. So it wasn't totally surprising that his will prioritized this cause. But as the state reports, the conflict rose primarily from the will's execution as it effectively disinherited his family, and accountant David Cannon, lawyer Albert Buddy Dallas, and former Judge Al Bradley, Brown's three personal representatives named in his will, were not trusted by those closest to him, leading to ongoing lawsuits and what the state called a legal stalemate. So it disinherited his family and accountant David Cannon, the lawyer. First of all, I don't see why in the heck would an accountant and a lawyer be part of the inheritance. That's the part I'm not understanding. Brown's will left his six acknowledged children. He's been said to have had up to 13 children from various affairs, with only the contents of his home and his insurance policies, while completely excluding his widow, Tommy Ray Heine, and their son, and stating that anyone who contested the document would get nothing. So all they got was the contents of his home and insurance policies. In theory, Funding education is a great thing, and having Brown's wishes in writing should have made it easy, but it turned out to be anything but. The will had a clause claiming that half of his trust income would go to mysterious management fees. And in the year following his death, his wife and children filed lawsuits in an attempt to have the will dismissed. On top of all that, H. Duane Herring, the estate attorney who prepared the will, was convicted of murder in 2007. How the hell do you think a black man in entertainment? How the hell you pick this man to be your executive, your attorney? An attorney convicted of murder? Wait a minute. So listen, they didn't get the house. Did you? It said the contents of the house and the life insurance policies. The will had a clause claiming half of his trust income would go to mysterious management fees. And you know what I read? I can't confirm if it's true or not, but I read an article. I read some information that said basically they felt that James Brown could barely read. I don't know if it's true or not. So whatever they telling you, you don't read, or you just sign an X. It talk about stupidity. Talk about a talented millionaire fools. I'm sorry, that's how I see them. Did you not read this? You didn't have somebody else read it, but whatever those folks say, you just grinning and signing like a fool, and then go off singing and swinging and dancing. Now you get why I said all they gotta do is it just takes one. Just find one rich fool in this community. The will had a clause that half of his trust income would go to mysterious management fees. And the estate attorney, on top of all that, H. Duane Herring, the estate attorney who prepared Brown's will, was convicted of murder in 2007. Oh, Lord have mercy. I read that some thought that he couldn't read. It makes me wonder. But whatever those folks say, just sign. Just stupid. In 2008, lawyers brokered a settlement restoring much of Brown's estate to his family, but this deal was overturned by the South Carolina Supreme Court in 2013, with the court stating that Brown had a reputation and a strong-willed individual who did not take orders from others. Obviously, he did. And he made his desires abundantly clear during his lifetime. So therefore, overturning his will would work, quote, to the detriment of the charitable entity that Brown so fervently desired. They know you can be the offspring of them and still end up broke. These men with wealth, they are still a joke. And this is him with his fourth wife, Tommy Ray Heine, and son, James Brown II, both of whom, girl, you done got played too, both of whom were left out of the will in 2006. She thought she hit a lick and was determined to get rich. But when it came to the will, she was left out of it. It can't get no dumber than this. They are unbelievable. James Brown's fourth wife, Tommy Ray Heine, and his son, James Brown II, both of whom were left out of his will in 2006. While Brown earned millions as a popular performer, the state reports that by the time of his death, his estate had virtually no cash and a mountain of debt. Brown had pledged his fortune to educate the children of his home states of South Carolina and Georgia, but it seemed there was no fortune left. David Cannon, Brown's accountant, pleaded guilty to embezzling over $8 million from the singer, and Brown's family claimed that he pressured and manipulated him. Court-appointed overseers also ran into disagreements with Brown's family. All it takes is one. They are a joke to me. This is him in 2005. So what happened to the $90 million James Brown's estate sale? The numbers surrounding James Brown's estate saga boggle the mind. As the state reports, the battle has lasted 18 years and involved 110 lawyers. Those lawyers getting paid. In 2020, Primary Wave, a company that owns music rights, bought the estate for a reported $90 million. But to this day, Brown's dying wish to have the Brown's dying wish has not been fulfilled, and no scholarships have been funded. Y'all, where the money? I'm willing to bet the lawyers got the money. Currently, Accountant Russell Balknight is in charge of Brown's estate, and he claims that Adele Pope, who was previously appointed as the estate special administrator by the court, is the one obstacle to using Brown's assets for their intended purpose. Dozens of legal cases have further delayed any potential scholarships. And as the state reports, quote, both sides believe they have the best interests of Brown's charity at heart, and neither will back down. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The state says that if Brown's educational fund were to finally come to fruition, it would be one of the largest charitable gifts in South Carolina's history. The convoluted case has expanded far past Brown's family, and today, as one of his daughters, Dr. Deanna Brown Thomas Sally told the state, quote, I just know that my father's turning over in his grave. Where's the money? End quote. Ma'am, I have to say to you, why could not your father have you as a darn trustee? I'm sorry to say, this community as a whole, we're not business oriented, don't handle business. Why the hell? Why did not your daddy have you as a trustee in his trust? But I get it. They listen to whatever those other folks say and just grinning and signing like a fool. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. I'm not gonna sugarcoat no nonsense. Well, he was a fool in my opinion. Why you didn't have I'll be doing to have a husband with some assets and I don't have my name on something. If that's the case, honey, I know how to pack up and go. It's just not gonna happen. And a man that cares about his family operating, why the heck he didn't have his daughter listed on that trust document? So she should have been a trustee. But see, these men, this is what typically happens. Their wealth is always squandered. And when you try to tell people, I notice in this community, oh my, especially the older ones, oh, you can't tell them nothing. You, excuse the expression, you can't tell an old Negro nothing, not just nothing. What's the saying? You can't tell him Nathan. I ain't trying to hear Nathan. You will be trying to help the old dumb fool, just speaking in general, because I know the man. But I know when it comes to the old Negro, you can try to help the old dumb fool get the stuff all in order. They'll be thinking you're trying to steal from them. Then, when they realize the other folks done got a hold to that they trust that don't look like you, then they'll be looking up. I can't believe this. And now they charge them. That's why I learned just leave them alone. I've had my experience with them. Oh well, I learned it's not worth the trouble. It's not worth the trauma. It's not worth it. It's it is unbelievable. This happens a whole lot. Why you didn't have your daughter as a trustee? Her name ain't on nothing, not on anything. Let me probably too dumb to even realize it. I'm sorry to say, probably don't even realize it. See, we're good with the talent part on the stage, hollering, singing, and dancing, but not good with the business part. And then we want to flash and not business oriented. We don't want to get involved in those matters, and that's how this happens. Same thing. Aretha Franklin, how the hell is this right here? $80 million estate, and it goes to all these hands. The lawyers getting paid. When it's all said and done, there's $6 million left. Michael Jackson said, I knew they were running a game on 600, close to $700,000 in unbillable legal hours. You're going to have to hell show me something. I think the heck not. You haven't heard of attorney work product? One tried to run a game on me. You got the right one today, baby. I grew up around that law office, so nice try. I let her know, where's your attorney work product? I already know, son, you don't have none. You're not finna run no game on me and collect no 40,000 passcode. You haven't done a dang thing. Where's your attorney work product? I know it's cricket because you don't have one. Like I said, the little knowledge that we do have, I notice you try to tell people in this community, the old Negro, that's why the youngest, some of them are dumb. The old Negro, you can't tell them nothing. And then when stuff happens, then they want to come to somebody looking big and out and broke. Well, I don't know what the hell to tell you. Then listen the first time. This is so common in this community. Who the hell doesn't know? And when it comes to a trust, stop trusting them other folk. Have somebody in your family. Look at Tupac. Who you think is living large off Tupac's estate? And people said, well, the family has so much. The family should be not a stranger. This group, that's why I say, this group is unbelievable. Massing all this wealth. Some of the people in this group are really unbelievable. Just poverty stricken. And when you see them so dumb and so stupid, I can't feel sorry for you. I really can't. You try to educate their old silly behind, and they want to always try to challenge something. So I'm gonna do what the good book said: leave a fool ignorant. Well, it doesn't say that. It says something about he that is ignorant, leave him ignorant. I agree. A fool and his money will soon depart. How many folk you think now, kids and grandkids, 18 years, kids, and man, old as he was, he probably got a great grandkid by now. He died in 2000. He was 73, and it's 2025. You think they all sitting up, living on a yacht, chilling on a yacht this weekend? Hell to the no. Somebody probably doesn't have their rent money. But like I said, you cannot tell my experience. I can only speak of my experience. You can't tell an old Negro nothing. And then when the ish falls apart, then they want to come. Look what's going to happen because you a fool. That's why. 18 years later, where the money at? Oh, these. I'm sorry, child. These. I'm so sorry. These. They're dumb. They are so dumb and trusting, in my opinion. You can call it what you may. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and make it happen for you. And Becky, you didn't get your bucks out of this one, girl. They are dumb. Some of these folk with this money, they just dumb, dumb as dirt. Why didn't he have your daughter listed as a trustee in that will? Why not? Probably don't even know to even think to even ask that. They can work, sing, and dance and jump up and down, make a whole lot of money. In the end, let's see if their offspring is going to benefit from it. In the end, the money is always handled by somebody that looks like this man. In the end, my opinion, you don't skip. It's too many cases. The money is always handled by somebody that looks like this man. And this her be the earner. A joke that sure as hell ain't funny. Let me know what you all think. I keep telling you, all you gotta do is find one. Just find one. It's guaranteed. Just find one. It's guaranteed. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I'm out. 18 years later, $90 million. Unbelievable.